Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're...
All right. Let's clap it up. I'm glad to see you here today. Hey, listen, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Your We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called natives are the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth. And the Bible identifies us as the true biblical Jews of the Bible. And as the true biblical Jews of the Bible, we got to understand what times we're in right now. You understand? And Command General Your has been calling for it for some years now. We are in World War III right now. Right. You understand? We're in World War III right now. And a lot of us don't realize it because we don't see the bombs and things flying over our heads right now. You understand? Come on, sir. We don't see the bombs and things flying over our heads and things like that. So we don't believe that we're in World War III, but we're in World War III. You understand? The bombs not flying here right now, but they flying in these other countries, and soon those bombs will be flying over here. You understand? Listen, it's some things that I want to get into. You understand? And tonight's title of tonight's class is Who is the Real Terrorist of this Earth? Who is the real terrorist? And a lot of times, a lot of us don't really understand what terrorists mean. So it's a couple of words that I want to go through. And I want to give some meanings, and we're going to get a little bit more understanding before we really get deep into it. You understand? This first word that I'm going to ask, you understand? And I want people to, you can chime in. I want you to chime in. I want to hear what your thoughts are. You understand? The first word that I'm going to ask about is hegemon. These words that I'm asking are very important words because a lot of times we hear these words when we listen to the news, but we don't understand or know what these words mean. I want to know what the word hegemon means or hegemony. You understand? These are words that we hear throughout the day. We really don't recognize it. Hegemony or hegemon. What does that word mean? Somebody tell me, what does that word mean? Hegemon. Hegemony. Hegemony or hegemon. What does that mean? You ever heard of that word? Hegemon? Never heard of that word?
So kind of Pokemon.
It sounds like Pokemon. Hey, listen, this is an important word. Hegemon. I asked the people out there, you understand? If anybody online, somebody tell me, what does hegemon mean or hegemony? Somebody give me that. Just let me know what that means.
How you spell it, sir?
Hegemon. That's hegemon. With a Y at the end is hegemony.
Okay.
You got that? See, now I told them the title of tonight's class is Who is the Real Terrorist of this Earth? Who's the real terrorist of the earth? And we're going to get into a couple of words because I got a couple of words that I want people to get familiar with. You understand? And it's important that we get familiar with this because before I understood the word was thrown around a lot and I heard it, but I just never really understood what it was, what it meant until I started looking it up and started reading up on it. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I was asking if we had anybody online, let me know what that word means, hegemon or hegemony. And I'm about to bring it out. You understand? Did you pull it up?
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, just hold on to it. You understand? Because I'm gonna go through it. You understand?
So
say that again.
See this for the Eastern Shore.
What'd he say?
No, that's not a comment. It's an error code.
But you know I can't see that far.
Oh.
You know I got bad eyes. You got to read to me, man. I'm old, man. My eyes is not like that, boy. It used to be like that. I can't see all the way over there. What? Hegemony, right? I'm going to go hegemony. Hegemony is the leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group over others. You understand? It's a country or a person. It's a person or a country dominating over a social group or others. You understand? Whether it be economically, politically, you understand what I'm saying? It's one group or people ruling over another.
Okay.
That's hegemony. So a lot of times when I heard the word hegemony, it was always related to America. And I didn't understand what it was. And I understood when I started looking it up. It meant that America rules over other countries, whether it be economically or politically, whether it be them going into other countries and taking over, taking things from other countries, or it's just like America. What does America push on other countries?
Oppression.
Say that again.
Oppression.
Oppression. Well, yeah, America does that, but we're talking about as a hegemon. As a hegemon.
I would say like more so like a mob, so like they offer protection and goods.
Not quite, because we're thinking about economically or politically. They do that militarily too, right? But the military side is basically America taking over.
Right. Go.
Right? But as a hegemon, democracy is what America pushes on other nations.
Yeah.
They push their politics politically, that democracy, you understand? They go in and causes other countries to economically change their ways using the dollar. The dollar controls everything economically. In other countries have to transfer their money over into the dollar. They have to do everything has to go by the dollar, not by the rupee, not by the ruble, not by the yen, but by the dollar. So economically, America causes other countries to go their way economically and politically. You understand what I'm saying? A hegemon also influences or pushes its authority, just like you said, over others. You understand? Or dominating over others, just like you were saying, military. So America is the only country that has over 800 military bases all over the globe. No other country has other military bases in a different hemisphere.
Right.
Not just in the Western hemisphere, but they got military bases in the Eastern hemisphere. America is the only country that does that. Military bases all over the world. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
America also pushes its social and ideology all over the world. This is what a hegemon does. A hegemon dominates over other countries, over whether they small, whether they big, and everything like that. This is the reason why America is really at a cold war with China. We were just talking about that earlier in the news at the One West News desk. This is the reason why America is in a cold war with China. It's the same reason why America is in a proxy war using Ukraine against Russia. It's the same reason why America is in a proxy war with Iran, using the so-called Israelis as a proxy. You understand? That's the weakest country on the planet. But with America behind it, it has that look as though it has power. You understand? You ever heard Netanyahu say we got the greatest army on the face of the earth? He says that often. It's not the Israelis. It's not the IDF. That's the greatest fighting force on the planet. It's the illusion with America behind you that you give an illusion that you're the greatest fighting force when we all know that they're not the greatest fighting force. Greatest fighting force on the face of the planet doesn't have to unalive old people, women, and children. You understand what I'm saying? Although that's part of their culture, that's what they do. You understand? But a hegemon has dominance over other nations. You understand? And leading into a hegemon, have you ever heard of unipolarity? Unipolarity. Uni means what? It means one. Uni, like a unicycle. Like a unicorn, unicycle. Uni means one. Polarity is an international system where one state possesses dominant power and influence, distinguishing it from bipolarity. What's bipolarity?
That's two.
That's two. And what's multipolarity? That's three or more. It's multiple. That's why it's multipolarity. You understand? And what America has been fortunate with is having the America has been fortunate to be bipolarity. And bipolarity came to America in about 1990 when the Soviet Union fell. In 1990, when the Soviet Union fell, that's when America became the #1 superpower, because it was the Soviet Union and the United States.
Right.
I don't know if a lot of people heard, you understand that famous thing that they always show with Ronald Reagan on it, Gorbachev, tear down those walls. You understand what I'm saying? That was an old thing that we watched on the news way back in the 90s. You understand? And that's when the Soviet Union fell, and they thought the Soviet Union was going to break apart. The Soviet Union went through sort of like I don't want to say a Great Depression, but an economical fall. You understand? And that's when the Soviet Union, they felt like this, America was that polarity, that country that dominated over all the countries. So now what I want to do, right? I want to read through this again. It says distinguishing itself from biopolarity, which it means two superpowers, or multipolarity, which is the dominance of multiple nations. You understand? When multiple nations stood as dominant powers. Multiple nations stood as dominant powers right before World War I hit. You understand what I'm saying? Right before World War I hit. And before World War I hit, it was multiple nations that were superpowers. You understand? So you had the Allied powers and the Allies and the what's the other one called? Oh God, come on. Oh man, I can't. Anyway, it was two. I mean, it was multiple. You understand? Multipolarity. A lot of nations had. You understand? So, what I want to get into now, I want to get into terrorism. What is terrorism? What's terrorism?
Like when a civilian from another country does like destroy something, and I guess I want to say in honor of whatever they believe in or their country, but they do it to another country.
Right.
Like they come in and like the planes, like 9/11, the terrorist act. That's the best I can think of. When another country comes over and does something.
Right. And you see how you name 9/11, right? We look at terrorists. That's the first thing we think about, because America has placed that in our heads. But a terrorist can be a homegrown entity too. So let's go back to slavery. We in America, we experiencing terrorism right there. Right? We experiencing terrorism, but because of the propaganda of America, we don't look at our own tragedy as a terrorist act. We don't look at it as terrorism. We just look at it as slavery.
Right.
We don't correlate the two, when in fact that was terrorism. When you put terror into a people, when you cause them to not be the people that they are from terrorist acts.
Right.
So it says terrorism is a tactic of asymmetric warfare used by non-state actors to achieve political, ideological, or religious goals through violence and intimidation. It is a persistent and evolving global security challenge that requires a complex, adaptable, and often controversial response from the international community. Understanding its history, motivation, and methods is the first step in effectively countering it. Now, go ahead.
So I think it's General Baton. He said access power. Is that what you
That's it. That's it. Come. Thank you. This is that General Baton. I needed that. Yes, Axis power, the Allied and the Axis. You understand what I'm saying? Thank you, General. Listen. Go ahead.
A kid, what you just described, it sounds like you said religion is used also, right?
Ideological, it says achieve political, ideological, and religious.
If I could, then I would say that so Christians and Muslims might be considered as terrorists because,
well, see, think about what Christianity is our oppressor. Christianity has been forced on us. You understand? Just like Islam has been forced on us. You understand? That's not our custom. That's not our culture. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, what you saying, right? So I'm gonna go back again, right? And I gotta I'm in the wrong thought. Hold on. I just pushed it out. I want to show you because JKLM. I hate when I gotta go through this like this. I should have just, but I didn't. Wrote it down. I got this right here. I want to read this to you too, right? Extraordinary. Okay, here we go. Right here. Right? Asymmetric warfare, right? Asymmetric warfare is between opposing forces which differ greatly in military power and that typically involve the use of unconventional weapons and tactics, such as those associated with guerrilla warfare and terrorist attack. Listen, asymmetric is a great power fighting against a lesser power. We see America do that all the time, especially when America ran into Korea. America ran into Vietnam, a power that's fighting fighting with conventional weapons, but they fighting like a guerrilla war. You understand what I'm saying? We see America do this all the time. And then when you look back at it, what do we always say, right? Before America goes out and destroys or fights another country, they do what they test everything right here on us. America is a terroristic country. This is a military country. You understand what you got, nephew?
Like you said, like a bigger power over battling against a lower power, just like how America overpowered the Native Americans.
Exactly. Just like the oppressor came in and overpowered. But this is the thing, right? And I got that too, right? I got that too. Matter of fact, that's Psalms 55 and 20. That's what he bringing up right there. Psalms 55 and 20. America does everything that they gonna do on us first and then goes out. America is the terrorist of the earth. You understand what I'm saying? America is the terrorist of the earth and used by non-state actors. A non-state actor, make sure I got that right. A non-state actor. You know what a non-state actor is?
Lies.
Is an individual organization that has significant political influence, but is not allied to any particular country or state. A non-state actor. That's America. America is not tied to any other country. America uses the countries that's supposed to be allied to it. You understand what I'm saying?
Go.
America, listen, America will use you until they're finished, and then they'll throw you away. Just like, listen, America's supposed to be really allied with Ukraine, but they're using Ukraine as a boxing glove. They got Ukraine on their fist and they swinging at Russia, Russia hitting back, and Ukraine is the only thing that's getting messed up. America really doesn't have any love or affection for Ukraine. America whole thing, hold up for it. The whole thing with America is to make Russia fall.
Right.
And they'll use anything or anybody at any cost. And right now they're using Ukraine as a battering ram. If the battering ram breaks and falls, who cares? It wasn't me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So a non-state actor is America in a sense, because America has no connection, even with the countries that it's supposedly supposed to be allied with. It has no connection because America will use you and then throw you away. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, go ahead. What you got, nephew?
Like if you have to use something for a country, if you need to use a country to destroy another country, doesn't that like show softness?
Softness? No, that shows. Listen, my nephew said, if you use another country to destroy another country, does that show softness? It doesn't quite show softness, but it actually shows the connivingness of America.
Right.
It shows the evilness of America. It shows how America will act like they're allied with you until they're finished using you. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So now, what I want to do, right? I want to show you, because as we all know, we in World War III, right?
Yeah.
I want to go back to World War I, and I want to show you the connivingness of America, right? What year did hold up, let me ask this question first. What year did World War I start? What was the year World War I started? Somebody give me that. World War I, what was the year World War I started? What you got, nephew? Let me see if you got it.
And 1700.
Nah. Hey, I make sure nobody online don't put it in.
No,
Let me know if anybody, nobody put it in there. Check this out. World War I started in 1914. World War I started in 1914. World War I ended in 1918. Right? Who was the president at the time? Wait a minute. Let me see. Yeah, World War I. Yep. 1914, 1918.
Oh, okay, right.
Right. So who was the president at the time?
Abraham Lincoln.
Who?
Abraham Lincoln.
No, hey, you went too far back. He said, my nephew said Abraham Lincoln. My nephew's thinking he got a president, but it wasn't the right president. Right? You got that?
Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was the president. What was Woodrow Wilson most famous for? What was his claim to fame? One of his claims to fame. I would say his most claim to fame.
Democracy would make everybody safer.
That was a saying, but he had an idea to create something that was his claim to fame. That thing is lasting to this day.
Make America better.
That's what they all want to do, make America better. But his claim to fame was the League of Nations. He had the idea for the League of Nations, which is now the United Nations. But it was his claim to fame was the League of Nations. And they started the League of Nations, but guess what? America didn't join the League of Nations. It was his idea, Woodrow Wilson's idea, but America didn't join the League of Nations. There was a reason why America didn't join the League of Nations. And the reason why America didn't join the League of Nations is because when any conflict happened in the League of Nations, you had to have a unanimous decision. So if it was time to attack a country, everybody had to agree, who was in the League of Nations had to agree that we would attack this nation.
Right.
You understand? America understood that, we can't stand for that. You understand what I'm saying? So now, understand this. America joined World War I in what year? What was the year America joined World War I? Listen, all right, let me give you a hint before you go anywhere. Remember, World War I started in 1914, ended in 1918. So what year did America come into World War I? Go ahead, nephew.
19.
From 1914 to 1918, when the war was.
No, 16 or 19.
Say that again.
Probably 1916 or 1915.
No, he was close though. 1917.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
So now think about this, right? The nations are already at war and been at war for 3 years before America came in.
Right.
So basically, America came into World War I and left World War I damn near unscathed, which left America in a great position. America's not a foolish country. America's not a stupid country. America says, if we're going to get into a war, then I need to be the last man standing in World War I. They didn't join the League of Nations because things couldn't be dictated by them. You understand? It couldn't be dictated by them. So by World War I, by the end of World War I, you had a lot of nations destroyed. You understand? So now coming out of World War I, America was not the unipolarity, but there was the bipolarity. You understand? It was still nations that was still standing. And I want to really say multi-polarity, right? So in 1918, it says America joins World War I in 1917. America stayed neutral from 1914 to 1916 and benefited. And how did America benefit? From the war. America benefited because America was trading with the Axis and the Allies. So they was trading with the so-called enemy, and they was still trading with the so-called allies, the people on their side. So America making money on both ends. America is basically feeding off of everybody.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And America became the great power after World War One. It was other nations that were still powerful, but America became that number one power. You understand what I'm saying? So again, let's grab Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Anybody online? It's the reason why we're using this. America's never been a foolish, well, America's a, I don't want to say a foolish nation, but America has always been a conniving nation. You understand what I'm saying? America has always been smart about the moves that they make, especially against these other nations. You understand? You got that? Go ahead. What you gonna say?
Because they were pretty much, America was formed with the spirit of the serpent.
Right.
To be beguiled. So
yeah.
Beguiled Eve.
Right. Exactly.
The most subtle.
So if I can talk to the enemy and I can talk to the ally, you understand? If I can make them see things my way, you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, good.
I can get them to trade with me on both ends, and nobody. Listen, think about this, right? You trading with your allies are right here. You trading with them, and you also trading with the enemy. You took a neutral position, and you trading with both. Eventually, America got into the war, but after they then got trade partners on both sides,
right?
So they made money on both sides. They built themselves economically on both sides. They not against anybody, but they with everybody.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You got that scripture?
Yeah.
Go ahead, read that for me.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed.
Hey, listen, this is what America did in World War One. This is what America does often. You understand what I'm saying? Think about the things that America has done to us.
Right.
You understand? Think about the experiments that America has done to us. Think about the Tuskegee experiments.
Right. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Just like the airmen. Think about that, right? Think about everything that they have done to us, putting us in ghettos. Think about what we talked about a couple of weeks ago. We talked about the incarceration. You understand?
Okay.
We talked about the incarceration rate, how they have to keep the prisons and everything full. Think about the privatized prisons that they have. Think about the redlining and things that they've done. You understand? Think about the way that they herd us like cattle in different ways. Think about how they got us out there shaking our booties and twerking and things like that, using the music against us. You understand what I'm saying? This is America working evil upon their beds.
Right.
You understand? Read that from the top again.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Listen, they working evil upon their beds. This is what America does. And this is the reason why we bring these classes out to our people and tell the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives, this is the way that we go. Under commanding General Yohana, we got to stop falling into the customs and cultures of America, because the customs and cultures of America are the very thing that destroys us. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, what you got?
And if I could, it's so heavy because we the blindness is still on us. Like, we don't see, just like the scripture says, that man of evil must be revealed.
Right.
We don't realize they
don't use my scripture yet.
Yeah. Now I'm about to get it, but yeah, be like, we don't realize when you think about the way society is formed by how oppressive, like how the rap music, the most vile music is pushed out
Right.
into the, you know what I mean, into the, like, everywhere, the airwaves.
Right.
Like, brothers actually be living by them lyrics, like, that listen to it. And we get numbers before we even be with a woman.
Well, think about this, right? And I'm gonna go back to the 80s, the 70s into the 80s, right? When rap music first came out in the 70s, rap music was about who could make up the best stories. Listen to what I just said. Who could make up the best stories? Well, by the time the oppressor got his hands on it into the mid 80s, it was who could live out the best story. So what you spoke about, by the time you got to the 90s into the early 90s, you had to be doing what you spoke about. You understand what I'm saying? See, this is how our oppressor works iniquity upon their beds. This is stuff that they ponder on at night. This is the thing that they sit up with the oil burning and thinking about, like, how can I get them to do this? How can I get a righteous people to be unrighteous?
That's it.
You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And like, just to piggyback what you just said about the rap music. I remember watching the movie NWA, Straight Outta Compton.
Right.
And when the Jerry Heller when he said he first heard Eazy-E rap, and that song that he heard, like, it was just a song about him around the way type stuff. It wasn't nothing uplifting anybody. He was like, I remember him in the movie. I remember him saying, like, it's brilliant. I think you got something. It's brilliant. I love it. And I used to wonder, like, why you call it brilliant? Like, you know what I mean? I like rap music. I like the songs, but I wouldn't call it brilliant. And I just feel like in his head, that was him saying, this is brilliant. This is going to destroy it. Everybody would want to be like.
Well, see, that's the whole thought. That's it right there. That's what he was saying. This is brilliant. This is brilliant because it's going to make me a lot of money. You understand what I'm saying? It's not brilliant that you're saying something brilliant that I like and I really appreciate it. It's brilliant because I know you're going to bring me a lot of money with that. What you got, nephew?
Like, when black people rap, it's mostly about, like, black on black crime. And, like, shooting and, like, killing people.
And that's the way, and listen, nephew, that's the way it was designed after the oppressor got his hands on it. And like I was saying before, right? When rap music first started, it was who could make the best stories and make you laugh at times. You understand? Who could make the best stories and the story be so nice that you could actually visualize it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you an example. You ever heard Dana Dane? He had the song Cinderfella. Dana Dane. That was one of the most impactful songs on me because I could actually, as he rapping, I could actually see this. You understand? And that's what rap was about. It wasn't about what you did in the street or anything like that. But once the oppressor got his hands on it and understood that this is what made black people, blacks and Hispanics go, he understood that he could control the narrative if he switches the narrative to something evil. You understand what I'm saying? So this is rap music used to be about who could create the best stories. It wasn't about how we was living. Of course, we spoke on how we was living. You understand? But it was about who could create the best stories. When you listen to Will Smith, when he did Parents Just Don't Understand, that was funny because we all could relate to it because we all went through that. You understand what I'm saying? We all went through it, not going out here robbing people and knocking people off and boom, boom, boom like that, because we all don't do that. Not even a big percentage of us do that. It's only a minute percentage of us that do that. But now every dude is rapping about it, and now every dude got to live it, and now every dude is either locked up or unalive behind what the oppressor pushed us into. You understand? So let me get back. Rewind. And like I said, it was about, all right, World War I, America controlled the narrative, and America came out of World War I unscathed. but America didn't join the League of Nations because America couldn't use the propaganda, because in order to do what America wanted to do, America had to have total control.
Right.
You understand?
Go on,
Now, let's do this. Let's fast forward and let's go to World War II. When did World War II start? When did World War II start? I ain't say one, I said two. Okay. Come on, give me something.
Yeah, man.
1939. World War II started in 1939. When did it end? 1945. So now listen. Remember this. In World War One. World War One started in 1914 and ended in 1918. America came in 1917. Right?
Okay.
World War II started. World War II started in 1939 and ended in 1945. When did America come into World War II?
1917, right?
No. We on World
War One.
So listen. World War II started in 1939 and ended in 1945. In what year did America come into World War II?
I'm gonna take a guess. I don't know. I'm gonna say 1945.
No. No. America came into World War II in 1941. Why did they come into the war in 1941? Again, America tried to stay neutral for a reason, though.
They probably got into the war in 1941 because they wanted to have enough time to build more powerful weapons and bombs.
Nope, I can't, not that. But I'm gonna give you a hint. Somebody attacked them.
Ah, that's right.
Johnny? Johnny?
Japanese. Pearl Harbor.
There you go.
Nice.
And it wasn't on America's mainland.
Right. Okay.
It was America. It was a post, the outpost in Pearl Harbor, right? The Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. Now remember, damn near all of the nations are in World War One. America, the World War II. I said World War One. World War II started in 1939. America came in 1941, but it was a big difference when America came into World War II. What was the big difference?
The big difference is that World War One, they came in the year right before the ending of the war.
I'm gonna give it to you, right? The difference is America got attacked by, of course, Japan, right? And when America came into the war, of course, Italy and Germany declared war on America, but America only fought Japan.
Mm-hmm.
All of the other nations were fighting each other, right? And although Italy and Germany were declared war on America, they were fighting the other nations. So as they fighting Great Britain, as they fighting all of these other nations are being destroyed. London is being destroyed. France is being destroyed. Great Britain is being destroyed. Germany's being destroyed. Italy's being destroyed. All of these countries are being utterly obliterated. America's fighting Japan, but Japan is also fighting all of these other nations.
Right.
So at the end of the day, in D-Day, remember D-Day is when they stormed Normandy. You understand that a lot of people died on the shores of Normandy. But after World War II, America stood as the unipolarity because all of the other nations were destroyed. And then America created the United Nations. And in creating the United Nations, America could control the narrative now. You understand what I'm saying? America came in unscathed. And although they did lose some people in Normandy, it wasn't nothing quite like the loss of all of the other countries and the Soviet Union. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
America dictated and allowed other countries to go in and fight. And once they seen that it was some leverage and they had to come in Japan, they only fought Japan until the very end. You understand, when they stormed the shores of Normandy, right? So when they stormed the shores of Normandy, that's when they created that United Nations. After that, this is the reason why America runs United Nations. They dictate everything that happens. If America say we putting sanctions or we going to destroy this country, it happens. You understand? And they created right after World War II was over. We looking at the Israelis. The Israelis, they was looking for different countries to put the Israelis in. If I'm not mistaken, they wanted to put them in. They wanted to put them in Poland. They wanted to put them in South Africa. You understand? It was some different countries that they wanted to put them in. Then they figured like this, right? If we put them in the Middle East, we could get a foothold over on the Middle East, and we can get control of some of those sovereign countries that are over there in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Syria, you got Lebanon, you got all of these countries over there. And remember, America is the one that created the Middle East.
Right.
America's the one that divided those borders and things like that, and put those borders and things like that. So we go finish that Micah 2.
Okay. Can we start from the top?
Yeah, you can start from the top and come down.
Okay. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
And we know that's what America does. America does nothing but works that evil upon their beds. You understand? And America, the evil that America works evil to control the narrative so that they can be the power of the earth.
Right.
You understand? Like we said before, America has over 800 military bases all over the globe. They're the only country that has military bases all over the globe like that. America is the terrorist of the earth. You understand?
Okay.
America is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
And when we say devil, we talking about deceiver. America deceives other nations into doing the things that America wants them to do. This is the reason why Ukraine is being destroyed like they are. You understand? America is actually, if you look at it, right, America is using the Israelis as a battering ram.
Mm-hmm.
As much as Benjamin Netanyahu is getting his way, America is allowing it because they want to see how far that they can push Iran. Has nothing to do with America being in love with the Israelis. It's how far we can push them to get what we want.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Go ahead, finish that.
When the morning is light, they practice it because it is the power of their hand.
It is in the power of their hand. Listen, in the morning, these are the things that they do. They think about these things and then they bring these things out and practice these things. You understand? This, remember we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how, I don't know if you remember, when we talked about the 5 nations in 7 years that America wanted to destroy. It took a little longer though, but of course, Lebanon has fell, Syria has fell. They've destroyed Iraq. Listen, when they went into that Iraq war, they killed, they destroyed over 1 million people in Iraq. That's a nation of people.
That's crazy.
1 million people. Can you imagine? 1 million people just wiped out, and nobody had to pay for that. You understand? This is the evil of America. America is the terrorist of earth. Ideologically, religiously, economically. When they went over to Iraq, what were they coveting over in Iraq?
The Iraq, when they say the weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, weapons of mass destruction. That's when they
go
ahead.
All of the
Poppy seeds and the oil.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Poppy seeds and oil. Poppy. Think about this, right? I don't want to get too far off, but think about the drug market in America. Now, America is blaming Venezuela for the drug epidemic, but they stood over in Iraq and guarded poppy fields.
Right. Okay.
You understand? They stood over in Iraq and guarded poppy fields. It has nothing to do with another country sending drugs. It's what America has created. This is a drug nation.
Right.
You understand? America goes out and pays those people to do just what they're doing. Venezuela is not a drug nation, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that there's no drugs coming out of Venezuela, but not like the nations that they got creating these drugs for.
Right.
Think about this, right? Just a couple of months ago, they caught the Asians coming across the Mexican border.
Okay.
With the what is it called?
Yeah, what's that?
Was the fentanyl? Fentanyl.
Yeah.
There you go. Right. Yeah, with the fentanyl. We ain't heard no more about that.
Right. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But think about this, right? I always bring this up in 2019, June 2019. They got, I want to say 34,000 pounds of cocaine at the border of in Philly. I mean, at the port of Philly. On the same day, listen, on the same day, 330 pounds came in at the port in Baltimore on the same day. They made a drug bust in Philly and in Baltimore on the same day. How ironic is that? 34,000 pounds.
Right.
330 pounds in the port of Baltimore. Big difference, but nonetheless, right? What's the probability of them making a drug bust on the same day on those two ports? So if one got through, if one got caught, that means three got through. Because they got to make it look like, oh, our border patrol, we on. Yeah. We good. We doing our job. Remember when that was the time when COVID hit, right? Okay. Remember 2019. This is the time COVID is in effect right now. Everything shut down except for the drugs. Drugs were still being on the streets in Philly and in Baltimore, and I'm pretty sure in all the other urban neighborhoods in America too. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, finish reading that for me.
Good. We're on verse 2.
Go ahead.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet fields.
Say that again.
And they covet fields.
Hey, listen, they covet them poppy fields. You understand? They covet the marijuana fields right now.
Yeah, okay.
You understand? These are the things that they covet. You understand? Go ahead.
And take them by violence.
When they went over to Iraq, they took them by violence. You understand? They locked our brothers up and put our brothers in prison forever, gave them football numbers for marijuana. They took them by violence. Go ahead.
And houses.
Go ahead.
And take them away.
Read on.
So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
And listen, they oppress us and our houses. and our heritages. You understand? They take everything from us. We destroyed as a people because they have taken our houses and our heritage.
That's right.
You understand? We destroyed as a people just because of this. Hey, now this is where I really want to go, right? Because we already talked about we in World War III. January 6th was that marker. That was a marker to show us. You understand? We have defining markers to show us certain things. Well, that defining marker was the beginning of the end of America's fall. World War III was underway. Listen, we think that civil war that America was in with itself. Think about this, right? We always talk about America, and we call America the United States. And I always say, how can states be united when you go from state to state and laws change from state to state? When you have blue and red, you can't be united. You got Congress and the Senate fighting against each other. You can't be united. When you have Democrat and Republican, you can't be united. There's only one righteous rulership on this earth, and that's under the Most High. You understand? And we get that here, right here in this one West. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's heavy what you just said. I never thought about that, because if you think about it, like there were states before marijuana was all the way legal.
Right.
It was states that you go to that was legal.
Right.
You get arrested in another state.
Right.
So how do you not?
You can't be united if laws change from state to state. That's not being united. When you went to Rome, Rome had one law.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying Rome was perfect. I'm not saying Rome was great. Right. But when you look at the state of Rome, it was one law, period. Of course, at the same time, the Senate used the people below it, just like the congressmen and the Senate and all of them, the delegates, they use us.
Right.
You understand? There is no equality in America. America has never been equal to anybody but itself.
Right.
You understand? When you look at a nation, right? When you look at a nation, they always judge a nation by the president. America does one smart thing. What do? They change the president every 4 years, so that now a country looks at America and says, oh, well, maybe we can get something different from this next president. When the next president carries on the agenda of America. America is a cloak, has a cloaking device. America's cloaking device is the change of presidency. And when other countries see that the president changed, they feel like, oh, maybe we can get something new now. When America carries on that, I told you, America agenda is only about America. So now we're moving into World War III now, right? World War III, we always say that defining marker was January 6th, right? January 6th, what did he say?
The Ram said the caloric. I don't even know how you say that. So the core lines. Right.
What did he say?
He said the wheat fields in Ukraine too. So I don't know if there's a brother or sister.
You talking about the wheat fields in Ukraine?
Okay.
Yeah, but think about this: the wheat fields in Ukraine owned by the Russians now, and even listen, even those rare minerals of Ukraine that Ukraine was trying to hustle to the United States, all of that is Russia's now. This is the reason why the United States can't go in there like they want to go. Plus the United States knows about that Oreshnik missile. The United States don't want to see that Oreshnik missile. After Iran bombarded the Israeli, what they call it, the dome, the Iron Dome. After they tore them up, that Iron Dome up, America does not want to see that Oreshnik. So all that wheat, whatever, and that's not even anything popular. We got wheat all over here. So that's really not something that America's looking for. America's really looking for those rare minerals, but it's too late because Russia already got them. You understand? And this is the reason why at the same time, they trying to freeze the conflict. But Russia said, we're not falling for that, freezing the conflict so that you can build forces back up and then come back at us. You understand? This is the reason why Russia's making it a drawn out war to deplete America. Ukraine's already been depleted. The European Union has nothing over there. Now, getting to that, and now I'm getting ready to tell you what's about to happen now, right? Again, remember how we talked about in World War I, America came in late, right?
Okay.
They was the power, right? In World War II, they did it again. They came in late. They ended up being the #1 power in that, right? So what did America do? America took Ukraine and started a proxy war with Ukraine, propping Ukraine up, right? Then what did America do? That was so conniving that a lot of people didn't even recognize. What did they do? They slowly backed out and they pushed the European Union up front. All those weak nations, France, Germany, all of those nations pushed them up and said, oh, you know what? We're stepping out of it. We're stepping out of the war. But what we'll do is we'll sell you weapons and you can give them to Ukraine. See, America has never been a fool. You understand? They're the evil ones. America stepped back. America said, we are not in it anymore, but we'll sell you the weapons to give to them so that now they can be at war with Russia. And now when you push all of them to the front and you get all of them warring against each other, what is America hoping for outcome? That they all destroy each other. And now America can be the unipolarity all over again and run the earth all over again. But this time what America's hoping for is that they can crush Russia, crush Iran, and crush China and have them as what they call it. When somebody is at your, is General Katham still on here? What they call it when you got them as vassal nations, as vassal nations.
Vassal nation.
A nation that you can control and you can get anything that you want from that nation. See, what they want to do with Russia is Russia's so big. What they want to do is they want Russia to fall so they can break Russia into pieces so that now Russia can never be the great power that it is. You understand? But Russia's not falling for that. So what America wants to do is make Russia, China, and Iran into vassal nations. If we make them fall, we can break them up. That's like if you take somebody's house, right? And let's say you got a 4-bedroom house, right? The person that you taking over got a 4-bedroom house, and you take their house, break it up, and put somebody from a different family in each room. Now, one person doesn't own the whole big house and run the house. Now you got 4 people with 4 different opinions. Now you have 4 countries. That's why you got Ukraine sitting there with their own thought of mind. That's why you got Belarus and all of those little small countries sitting around it with their own thoughts, because they broken them up from the big country that they once was. And now if you got a whole bunch of them little countries, you can influence any of them and make them go any way that you want. That's what they hoping for Russia. You understand what I'm saying? So now what's happening is the United States is trying to back off, force them into a war, get them into a great big war, which is what is so-called Israelis trying to drag the United States into a great big war with Iran. But the United States doesn't want that. They don't want that, because if they get into a war and then they decide to hit the mainland, then the United States gonna be effed up just like all of the other countries. United States is the only country. The United States is all the way over here on the Western Hemisphere, the only one that's not in almost in arm reach of all of those other countries. So why not start wars over here? Now they're trying to start a war with Venezuela. You start a war with Venezuela, then you might have to look at Mexico too. You understand what I'm saying? Are they ready for that? And a lot of people look at it and say, yeah, they're ready for it. They're America, but you got to understand, America knows its power. We look at America like America is the greatest country on the face of this earth. America used to be the greatest country on the face of this earth before the oppressor got here. Listen, if you look at it, right, wherever the oppressor goes, the oppressor destroys everything in his path. He makes something look great, but it's not really great. Think about it, right? They say China making those same electric cars. China making electric cars that's way better than this Tesla that Elon Musk is making for half the price, and it's more effective and efficient. America makes it look. The Europeans make it look, but it's really not. We fall into the thing because we've been living here in America for so long. All we see is America. We have fallen into the customs and cultures of America, so much so that in 1992, I always tell you that dream team, we the greatest on the face of this earth. Can't nobody beat it, blah, 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 blah. Because we have fallen into the spirit of America. And America has a thing to be able to hook you in and make you fall and make you believe in America. Matter of fact, what's that? What's the scripture?
Shadow of Egypt.
Yeah,
That's what he wants.
yeah. Ain't that Job?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, that Job chapter 18 and 11, I'm gonna grab that too, right? But I want that shadow of Egypt first. I can't believe I use that all the time, and I can't believe I can't remember that.
Let's see. Isaiah chapter 30. First.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Yeah. Let me get to it first. Hold on, bro. That's it too. I remember when you said it. Isaiah chapter 30. And I believe it's starting at 1, right? Yep, that's it. That's my scripture right there. Let's go with that.
It's Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord.
And that's us, right? We the rebellious children, believing in America. Putting everything that we got in America. Believing that America is going to sustain us. Believing that voting in America is going to change our outcome, going to change our, situation. It's not going to change our situation. We are the rebellious children, believing in everybody but the Most High. We don't want to believe anything that the Most High tells us. You ever seen a kid? Listen. My mother used to say to me all the time, everybody is not your friend. I used to get mad.
Right.
He is my friend, you know what I mean?
Right.
Until he mess you over and then you're like, damn, my mother was right. You know what I mean?
Right.
You understand? And we don't believe in our parents until the very thing that they say gonna happen happens.
Yeah.
You understand? Woe to the rebellious children. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
And that's us right there. That's a perfect description of us right there. We take counsel, but not of the Most High. We don't lean on these scriptures.
Right.
We don't lean on these laws, statutes, and commandments. We want to take influence, or we want to take information, or we want to take counsel from Islam. We want to take counsel from Christianity. We want to take counsel from our oppressor. We want to take counsel from everybody but the Most High.
Right. Okay.
And listen, Think about this, right? This is the reason why we in the condition that we in today. Taking counsel from the wrong people. Taking counsel from everybody but the Father. That's why we destroyed as a nation of people. That's why it's so hard for us to go out and talk to our people without getting at odds with our people.
Right.
Although we control ourselves, you understand what I'm saying? Because eventually our people come into us. Listen, think about this. Each one of us was on the other side at one time. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Hey, listen, what is the spirit? Think about the spirit, right? What do we always talk about the spirit? What's the spirit?
Like how your actions, like how you act, like the way that you present yourself.
Think about this, right? And I heard, I think it was General behind, right?
Okay. Okay, I know where you go. Okay.
Think about the spirit of the team that you love. You wear the jersey, you put the hat on, you paint your face. We cover ourselves in the spirit of America. Think about the God bless America. Listen, I learned that song in the first grade, right? The God bless America.
Okay.
By the time I got to junior high, I was God, because I'm in that spirit.
Right.
I believe in America. There's nothing better than America, and that's us.
Yeah.
It's in us so heavy. We're in that spirit of something that we're not supposed to be in the spirit of. And all of that, God bless America, and we end up in prison. We end up getting redlined. We end up getting our neighborhoods burned down.
Yeah.
We end up getting our land taken from us. Think about this, right? He put forth his hands as such that be at peace with him. Native American Indians believing in the oppressor, believing in that spirit, that very thing that tore us down and destroyed us. We believe that, oh, it happened to him, but it can't happen to me. That's how we look at stuff. Oh, well, it wasn't me. It ain't happened to me. You ever heard a brother say that? Well, shoot, I ain't got nothing to do with it. It ain't me.
Yeah.
All the way up until it happens to you. Now you sobbing and crying for help. But what happened right there? You understand what I'm saying? Because we in that spirit of America. Go ahead. Hold. What you got, nephew?
Just like what you saying, like people saying well, then it happened to me. Like what happened to Emmett Till's mother? She like when she was saying the speech, she said whenever something happened to a black person, like whenever a black person died, she was like she didn't care, but when it happened to her,
right,
her son, she was like she understands you.
Exactly. So just like my nephew said, he said when Emmett Till's mother, she didn't think about it when it happened to other black people. But when it happened to her son, then it felt different. It hit different. And this is the reason why we have to care about everything that happens to our people way before it happens to us.
Right.
You understand? It can't be a thing where, oh, now you want to cry out after it has happened to you. You understand? Where was that sympathy at before?
Right.
And that's what we have to have. We have to have empathy and sympathy for our people.
Right.
We have to have love for our people. The number one thing that we have to have is brotherhood.
Right.
For our people. You understand? Go ahead, finish that.
Go. And they may add sin to sin.
And they may add sin to sin. You understand? And that's what we do. Listen, think about this, right? We get into that spirit and then we train up our children in the same way, adding sin to sin.
Yeah.
Making things worse. You understand? We teach them how to be humble to America. We teach them how to love America. We teach them that Pledge of Allegiance. We teach them that Star Spangled Banner. You understand? We teach them to be in that Army, that Air Force, that Navy and Marine. We push them out the door to it.
What?
We teach them how to represent America. We believe we are American. We destroyed as a people.
Right.
And the only way we come up out of it is following these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Okay.
You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
That's it right there. See, we trusting in the shadows of Egypt. You understand? We trusting in the shadows of Egypt. We trusting in that constitution. We trusting in the law, the very law. Listen, we talked about this earlier, right? Those laws that are created in America are not created for our oppressor. Those laws are created for us. You see what's happening to the laws now. They're breaking every law that they have created. But those laws are not created for them. Those laws are created for us.
Right.
You understand? We believe in America. And that's how we are destroyed. Just like you had brothers, think about this, right? We had brothers leaving Egypt that wanted to go back to Egypt. You understand? So destroyed that we'd rather go back and serve Pharaoh. We'd rather be under the thumb of our oppressor.
Yeah.
As opposed to being out on our own, building our own nation. Listen, just like I said before, we looked at these people being mad. We watched black people being mad that these white people got 160 acres and building an all-white community.
Right.
But we should be thinking about building an all-black community. Listen, our whole thing is we should be moving away from them.
Right.
It says, read that again. Go back up a little bit and read that again.
You want verse 2?
Yeah, read that again.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Egypt and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
The strength of Pharaoh and the trust in the shadow of Egypt. We trusting in America. We trusting in Donald Trump. And listen, did you see all them black people believing that Donald Trump was going to change our situation?
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
They believe that they're going to change Donald Trump going to change our situation. He gave us a check. He gave a couple of dollars. And listen, that's all you got to do to so-called blacks and Hispanics.
Yeah.
You give them a couple of dollars, we're going to believe in you. You understand? We behind you 100%. Think about all of those females that got $1.5 million in a few days for Kamala Harris.
Right.
They raised $1.5 million in a couple of days for Kamala Harris. She wasn't even grateful enough to come out and thank them after she lost. Silly. We silly as a people.
Okay.
You understand? And with that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, all of New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969, and that truth is so-called blacks, so-called natives, and the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called natives are the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth. And the Bible identifies us as the true biblical Jews of the Bible. With that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Alizai. Hey, y'all need to really check out this book. I've been checking out this book right here. You see that?
Okay.
You see that? What's the name of that book? That book is Black AF History, the whitewashed history of America. This tells you the real history of America. Hey, I just started reading it. This is a good book right here. I ain't been through the whole thing yet, but it's a good book. Gotta check it out. And I got the black image in the minds of white, in the white mind, the black image in the white mind. I'm reading that too right there. We got to check these books out. We got to see how America really feels about us. That's what these books talk about. You understand? And with that, let me pass the class over to Priest and Officer Alizai.
class. These are security announcements. You at the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and the commanding general in your honor. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're here to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the word. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has a particular interest in a person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew is pronounced ma'ashera. 10% of every increase of 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, we got, what's that? High Hanukkah. Yeah, December, I want to say the 14th. It's like in 1 second, just verified.
Yep, Sunday, December 14th.
December the 14th, High Hanukkah. You know what I'm saying? Come down to the school, 3430 Eastern Avenue, where we always do a bid for the high holy days. You know what I mean? Come down here with your brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? The Akim and the Akwapium, you know what I mean? The kids, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Remind me and Akwapium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth for events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, they is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headbands, scarf. And with that, we'll give one courteous salute to the teacher, Min Israel, Amayim, which means to stand. Amayim Shabbat, Amayim, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Rakadah.
How about Shimmy Shabbat? Come.
Guys, Matai, class dismissed.
Right.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're 1 West. They're 1 West. They're 1 West. They're